Have you ever felt like you are always giving, always helping, always there for everyone, but no one notices your exhaustion? Have you ever said yes, even when your heart whispered no? This is the story of a woman who learned that saying no is not selfish. It's love. In a small village surrounded by hills and rivers, there lived a woman named Sadia. Sadia was known by everyone. Not for wealth, not for fame, but for her endless willingness to help. If someone needed food, she cooked it. If someone had a problem, she stayed awake at night listening. If a neighbor's roof leaked, she climbed her ladder to fix it. People called her kind. They called her selfless. And maybe she was. But they never saw the moments when she went home alone, sat on her wooden chair, and felt the weight of everyone else's problems pressing down on her heart. Every morning, Sadia woke before sunrise. She fed her children, watered her garden, and walked through the village, delivering bread to those who could not afford it. She smiled, laughed, and shared words of encouragement with anyone who needed them. But inside, her heart whispered, "When do I get to rest?" And she always ignored it. One afternoon, while helping a neighbor paint their house, her younger sister Hina stopped her. "Sadia," Hina said softly, "you've been working so hard. When will you take care of yourself?" Sadia laughed lightly, brushing off her sister's words. "I'll rest later, Hina. There is always something to do." Hina looked at her with concern. "You say yes to everything, but yes should never come at the cost of your peace." Sadia's smile faltered for a moment, but she didn't respond. Days passed, and Sadia continued her routine. One evening, as she returned home from helping repair the village school, she felt her legs tremble. Her head spun. Her basket of supplies fell to the ground with a soft thud. She sat on the ground, her breath shallow, her hands shaking. A passerby rushed to her. "Sadia, are you okay?" She tried to stand. I'll be fine," she whispered. But she wasn't. That night, lying on her simple cot, Sadia thought about all the times she said yes, even when her heart screamed no. She realized something she had never admitted to herself. Her kindness had become a chain. Her generosity had hidden a truth she could no longer ignore. She was disappearing inside everyone else's lives. The next morning, Sadia made a small decision. She would say no. Not to be cruel, not to hurt anyone, but to reclaim the space she had lost in her own heart. Her first opportunity came quickly. A neighbor asked her to help with a festival decoration. Her old instinct would have been to say yes immediately, but this time she took a deep breath, looked at her hands, and whispered softly, "I'm sorry. I cannot this time. I need to rest." The neighbor looked surprised, but Sadia didn't flinch. It felt strange at first. Her heart raced. Guilt crept in like a shadow. She worried that people would be upset, that they would think she had changed, that they would call her selfish. But that evening, as she sat quietly by her window, watching the sun melt into the hills, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. As weeks passed, she practiced saying no gently but firmly. When someone asked her to take extra work, she said, "I cannot, but I hope you can find help elsewhere." When a friend asked for advice she was too tired to give, she replied, "I'm not in the right mind today, but I can listen another time." And every time she said no, a small weight lifted from her chest. A small smile returned to her lips. One afternoon, a young girl named Anya from the village came to her. She was always quiet, shy, and often invisible. "I want to help everyone like you, Sadia, but I feel guilty saying no to my friends." Sadia took her hand and smiled. "Anya," she said gently, "you can say no without guilt. Saying no does not make you unkind. It does not make you selfish. It makes you strong. It makes you human." Anya looked at her eyes and for the first time felt free to breathe. Months passed, and the village began to notice a difference in Sadia. Her smile was brighter, but her strength was quieter. She no longer carried everyone's problems on her shoulders. People whispered, "Sadia has changed. She says no now." The same people who once envied her endless giving now respected her boundaries. They realized that her peace was a gift, not just to herself, but to everyone around her. One evening, her daughter asked, "Mama, why do you look so calm lately?" Sadia smiled and said softly, "I learned to say no, my child. Not to hurt others, but to love myself as well." Her daughter thought for a moment and nodded. "I think I understand," she whispered. Weeks later, during the village festival, Sadia was asked to organize the celebration. She paused. She had been asked before, and in the past, she would have immediately said yes. This time, she thought, "Do I want to do this? Do I have the energy for this?" She smiled, looked at the organizers, and said, "I will help with the decorations, but only for a few hours. The rest you must handle yourselves." There was a moment of silence. Then the villagers nodded. Sadia realized the world did not end. The festival was beautiful, the celebration went on, and she returned home feeling light, peaceful, and alive. As years passed, Sadia became a quiet example in her village. A woman who could help, but also knew her limits. A woman who could give, but not at the cost of her soul. A woman who could love others, but also loved herself. Young girls came to her for advice. Neighbors came to learn from her wisdom. And Sadia taught them one simple truth. You can care for the world, but don't forget to care for yourself. Saying no is not guilt. Saying no is love. If you are listening to this story today, maybe you're like Sadia. Maybe you've said yes too many times. Maybe you've carried everyone else's weight and ignored your own heart. It's time to remember, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to protect your heart. You are allowed to say no, without guilt, without fear, without shame. Because the truth is simple. Saying no is not weakness. Saying no is clarity. Saying no is love. And when you love yourself, you are stronger than you ever imagined. So today, whisper to yourself, I can say no. I can protect my peace. I can love myself. And watch how your life changes, how your heart feels lighter, and how the world respects you more than ever before. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video. Share it with someone who always says yes, and comment below. When was the last time you said no for yourself? If Sadia's story inspired you, you'll love our next story. You forgot how strong you are. Emotional story. About finding yourself again. This story will show you how to reconnect with your inner strength, rebuild your confidence, and discover the power you had forgotten. After finishing this video, click and watch it next. Your heart and soul will thank you.